Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets to know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single day. I am in fact today wearing the Crypto Saving Expert merch t-shirt, and make sure to keep your eyes peeled for how you can get your hands on one of these. My throat is a little bit sore today, so I'm trying not to shout too much. Every single time I do a video or a live stream, I shout so loud all of the time, and it hurts my throat every single day, so it doesn't help when you start with a sore throat. Let's see what's going on in the chat this morning. Paul said good morning. Thank you very much for tuning on again. It's not even the morning, it's the afternoon. I keep saying morning because I'm so used to doing these live streams in the morning. We will be back to 11 a.m. starts from tomorrow. I just wanted to get the filming done for the website first before we came onto the live streams, because I think they need me to have a voice more than the live stream does for one day, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's all very important. Make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and head over to that big blue sign up button. Press sign up and you'll get for early access to what's coming to cryptosavingexpert.com. It's very exciting what's coming very, very soon. I can't say too much, but if you are already subscribed and you get the emails, you will have seen a little bit of what's going on there. And if you follow us on socials as well, you'll be able to check out what's going on there. I'm not going to spill the tea. I'm not going to give you any more information because it's always me that gives it away. So I'm trying to keep my lips sealed on this one. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here this morning. This afternoon, we have Bitcoin sat up slightly at $26,115. We have Ethereum sat up slightly as well at $1,650. So, I mean, it hasn't really moved in a significant way at all, but we can be happy that we're seeing green on the site instead of red. That is still a positive thing. If we take a look at the whole market, everything's moved in some sort of way to the upside. Not in a significant way at all, to be honest. Polkadot up 1.77%. Everything else is looking very, very minimal, but at least it's a positive minimal. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Afternoon, Robert, and hello, Henschel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, let's see what's going on in the cryptocurrency news then. I think we've all heard about what's happening with Bitboy right now, so let's discuss that quickly. So Ben Armstrong has been removed from the Bitboy crypto brand. Now, Ben Armstrong is seen to be the creator of Bitboy, the face of the show, and now it looks like he's been removed from Hit Network and the Bitboy brand. So let's take a look at the tweet that was put out by the Bitboy channel on Twitter yesterday. This was. So they've tweeted, yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company and specifically the Bitboy crypto brand. This difficult decision is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the Bitboy crypto community. Now, for those of you that know about Bitboy and the history of Bitboy, he's been pretty open about his past. I've seen reports that he's been to prison, he's been addicted to drugs before or alcohol. And they are basically stating here that he has actually had a relapse in this substance abuse. And this is where they've had to take him out of the company. So you can see here the Bit Squad deserves better and we are going to get through this together. We wish him the best and regret that it has come to this and are hopeful for the future of Bitboy crypto. We have also seen that an email has gone out from the team at the Bitboy HQ to all Around the Blockchain guests. Around the Blockchain is a show, basically a branch off from the official Bitboy YouTube channel where they have lots of guests on. I've been on the Around the Blockchain show before. So they've sent out an email saying that they've basically removed Ben Armstrong from the Hit Network and BJ Investment Holdings and all subsidiary brands, including but not limited to Bitboy Crypto and Around the Blockchain. We can also see, I'm just going to give you all of the facts here today, that they have removed all of the Bitboy photos from their branding on their social media platforms. Now, Bitboy has actually responded to this, and I know a lot of you will have heard of Bitboy. Bitboy is one of the major cryptocurrency YouTube channels, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, massive influencer in the cryptocurrency space. It probably the biggest influencer in the cryptocurrency space, US based, massively partnered with Stake, a cryptocurrency platform. If you are in crypto and you follow along on cryptocurrency Twitter or cryptocurrency YouTube, I would be very, very surprised if you've not heard of Bitboy before this. So we are seeing right now that he has been removed from the Bitboy crypto companies. This is the guy that built the Bitboy crypto YouTube channel from zero. So he's built this up, and then the team have started to get involved. He hires a huge amount of people, and now he has been removed from what was his own company. Now it looks like obviously he's given the rights to this company elsewhere, and as the company's grown, it's kind of shifted slightly. So it's gone from being 100% his company when he first started to actually, this is what I would assume, to actually spreading that out and therefore giving others the power to make decisions like this. So let's take a look at what he has responded to this anyway. So obviously we have seen in the last couple of months, Ben has, in my opinion, done a few questionable things. We've seen, obviously, he actually gave us a pretty fair warning about FTX collapsing. He was then outside Sam Bankman-Fried's apartments in the Bahamas. He's then created this token called Ben Coin, arguably a meme coin. This is something that a lot of people have questioned because with such a big reputation, being one of, if not the biggest cryptocurrency influencer in the space, why bring out an asset like a meme coin that has the ability to ruin your reputation? These are very volatile assets and they carry a huge amount of risk. So why attach that risk to a reputable brand such as Bitboy? And Ben Armstrong, his own name is a brand for himself. That's the sort of questions we've been seeing within the last couple of months. And now we're seeing, obviously, Ben Armstrong has been removed from the Bit Squad and all of the companies involved in it, but he's responded to this news on the Ben Coin Twitter profile, and he said, "This is Ben. T-Day Shed and Justin Williams have attempted a coup at my company. Just confirming what is going around. It's true. There has been a mutiny at Bitboy Crypto and Hit Network, but it won't work. They have no leverage until they clone me. I have nothing to worry about." Now, what we are seeing here is he's pointed out, I mean, I would say this last point here is very, very true. With Bitboy and the Bitboy YouTube channel, people go to the Bitboy YouTube channel to watch Bitboy. It's like if I started appearing on that Martini Guy's channel. I'm not that Martini Guy, so it doesn't really work. We've seen this, we can see this clearly. People go to the Bitboy show to watch Bitboy. To replace that with someone else, I think that's a very difficult task that they're taking on. And we can see here, they can't clone him. They can't make a Ben Armstrong 2.0. So will the channel continue to perform well? A lot of people are speculating about this in the last 24 hours. I guess only time will tell. But I do imagine, I've seen a lot of comments on all social media platforms of people saying they're on Ben's side. And I think if Ben was to make a new YouTube channel from scratch, he could take a huge amount of that following back. But we'll have to see how that plays out. That's just all speculation, all a very interesting topic. We have also, the most recent up-to-date news we've seen on this is we've seen a video from the moon, and he's pointed out a message he's received personally from Ben Armstrong, and this says, "For your information, this isn't over. I didn't relapse. It's all lies, absolute lies. I'm laying low for a while, but this is just the beginning." So we're seeing that we could see more news appear from this, from Ben himself in response to this. Obviously, this is a big, big news story today because this is the most popular cryptocurrency influencer in the entire world. Let's see what's going on in this article here. So we have reported on this in Crypto Saving Expert. Bitboy Crypto was founded in 2018 by Ben Armstrong. The YouTube channel has gained 1.45 million subscribers and the Twitter account has 1 million subscribers. Now, Armstrong has responded to this, but as you can see here, the situation appears complex and likely has more twists and turns before concrete evidence emerges that Armstrong has or has yet to be removed from his companies officially, or if that is not remotely possible by the coup leaders. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this one. It's a very interesting conversation. Nothing that we would have expected, nothing that we were all going to see coming. Very, very bizarre that Bitboy, the Bitboy, has been taken out of the Bitboy crypto brand. But we'll keep an eye on that one and we'll continue to report on that one. Let's see what's going on in the cryptocurrency space and see what else is going on. Please don't forget, before we continue today's stream, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We are here talking about the spot Bitcoin ETFs from BlackRock, from Bitwise, and others. Now, we are seeing an actual first review deadline approaching. So we did see earlier this year a huge amount of massive institutions filing for spot Bitcoin ETFs. And this was very, very exciting, with BlackRock being one of them. And that is the biggest asset manager in the world applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF, something we could all get excited about, something that caused the price of Bitcoin to move pretty significantly, and something we are all speculating could cause a massive shift in the Bitcoin price once again when the SEC makes their decision. Now, we've all been getting very excited about this. BlackRock having a spot Bitcoin ETF could change the space forever, but we have not yet seen the SEC accept this application, so we are still sitting and waiting patiently. If we take a look at this chart here, you can see that the first deadline for many of these ETFs is actually fast approaching. So we're looking at this here, and you can see that as the time gets closer, we could be seeing some decisions in the right direction. Now, I was looking at that very confused then. This is in American, so it's month, date, year. In the UK, we do day, month, year. So we got here on the 1st and 2nd and 4th of September, we have the first deadlines for iShares Bitcoin Trust, Bitwise Bitcoin, VanEck Bitcoin, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Wise Origin, and many other Bitcoin ETFs here. So very, very exciting. Fidelity. So we could see some shifts, some very exciting progression here. Do I think we're going to see that? I'm not too sure. So as we've pointed out in this article, several crypto investors speculate that the regulator is more likely to push back the initial deadline for its decision, as was the case for ARK21 Shares Bitcoin ETF by 21 Shares and ARK Invest. And this is something I believe we could be seeing as well. So we did see the SEC delay the decision on ARK Invest application on the 11th of August. And could we see this occur for other ETFs? Highly, highly likely in my opinion. We know the SEC doesn't like the cryptocurrency space. They try and shut us down as much as possible. It hasn't worked so far. We've seen more discussions about this week. We did discuss in yesterday's live stream how Biden's tax is supposedly an attempt to kill the cryptocurrency space, according to one guy in the US. And we are also seeing the founder of DXDY saying, look, if you're a cryptocurrency project, just get out of the US, work on your project there, and once you've established yourself and you're big enough, then try to combat the US. But until then, there's no point even trying here anymore. So are we going to see adoption die down in the US as the regulation gets tighter, the tax gets higher, and the regulation just becomes less and less clear? Who knows? And now we're losing potentially one of the biggest cryptocurrency influencers in the US. The whole space seems to be changing pretty quickly. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So the SEC might approve multiple Bitcoin ETFs at once. This is what I am hoping for. As I keep discussing here, we have companies like Grayscale that are in a lawsuit with the SEC that have been fighting for spot Bitcoin ETFs for a very, very long time. And then we have companies like BlackRock, Fidelity that have just jumped into the space and said, the BlackRock CEO said back in 2017, Bitcoin is a money laundering index. He's now said, actually, we want to make a spot Bitcoin ETF. So they've just hopped into the space right now. Who knows how long they've been actually in this space, but they've publicly jumped into the space right now. And I want to see that first mover advantage given to the space in unison. What we're going to see here is the first company to get that spot Bitcoin ETF could have a massive first mover advantage. People in the traditional space that want to get exposure to the cryptocurrency industry could choose the first one that is available, whether that's BlackRock, whether that's Fidelity. And I don't want to see that happen. I want to see Grayscale, who've been here fighting for the cryptocurrency space, trying to get those spot Bitcoin ETFs for years, have that same opportunity. So I think if we have all of these companies getting accepted in unison, none of them have that first mover advantage, and they can all operate and hopefully perform well, and we can see a nice move to the upside for the cryptocurrency space. Now, that is if we get accepted there, but we'll see. It should be an interesting time, and I think we're sitting on the fence of something exciting. Now, I've got 3 news stories I want to zoom over very, very quickly, and then we'll talk about the price of Bitcoin a little bit more, and we'll come back to this story. So we have lawyers say SBF is being punished for exercising his right to speech. I will drop the link to this in the chat if anybody is interested in this. To be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of talking about Sam Bankman-Fried. He's caused a nightmare in the cryptocurrency space. We're going to continue to see the discussions with his lawyers and what's going on in the courts. But right now, the attorneys are filing for SBF to have a release. He is in jail right now. He tried to get 5 days out per week to discuss with his lawyers. I mean, it's all going crazy right now. Let's see what else is going on here. So NFT market dips to a 2-year low. NFTs have dipped. Trading volume has dipped. We can see Wu Blockchain has stated in the past week the transaction volume of the entire network NFT market was only $73.2 million, the lowest in the past 2 years. To be honest, something you would expect during a bear market. NFTs are purely speculative assets. These are tokens that have pictures attached to them, something I am very biased against. I'm not an NFT investor. I don't see the value in the majority of these tokens. And with that, I find it easier to be negative than positive, and I'm trying to be neutral. But what I would say is these are assets that you would buy in a bull market mentality and regret buying in a bear market. I would say that's only my opinion. That's what I have found. But let's take a look at what else is going on here. I'll drop the link to this one in the chat as well. We have here South Korea orders crypto exchange to keep $2.26 million in reserve. So exchanges must adhere to the order to be able to compensate users in the event of losses incurred through hacks and cyber attacks. Now that is a huge sum of money, and a sum of money that makes it very, very difficult to enter the space and become a new competitor. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin then. This is what we're all here for. This is what I want to discuss. Before we continue today's stream, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. What we are looking at here is the doom and gloom around September. Now, I have heard that, I mean, if we average all of these together, I think it's something about minus 9% average for Bitcoin in September. It's not looking too positive. We're currently at a price point where a lot of people are feeling very negative. We have had a move to the downside. We are now seeing more sideways action, and we are about to hit what is typically the most bearish period for Bitcoin. So you can see here, this is the percentage changes for Bitcoin in September in this column here. And you can see it's not very pleasant. It's typically not a very pleasant time. So this is something I would like to make you aware of. I like to follow patterns. I like to deal with probabilities. And with this pattern, it's not looking positive. If we take a look at Q4, however, though, Q4 is typically a pretty positive quarter of the year. So if we look at what's happened in history, are we going to see a move to the downside in September and then a move to the upside in Q4? Potentially. Fingers crossed we see some sort of movement to the upside to finish this year. We were spoiled at the start of this year, and then we've just been left to deal with the sideways action for the rest of the time. But hopefully we do see some nice movements towards the end of this year. Obviously, we have that April 2024 Bitcoin halving, where we should see some exciting stuff. Typically, in history, it has triggered a bull market. So in terms of probability, it's looking pretty likely that it could happen again, but nothing is certain, especially in the world of crypto. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So Matrix Ports have reported that Bitcoin should not trade below $25,800. So what we can see here is Bitcoin traders are still optimistic about a move to 30K, despite the shocking dip in mid-August to $25,166. Chances of another descent below 25.8K are slim, but should not be disregarded, believes the team at Matrix Port. So we're looking at all the data right now, and it shows a huge call wall between 30K to 35K, and only a tiny rally gets going. The option gamma could cause a violent rally back to 30K, as market makers will have to buy Bitcoin to hedge themselves. It is not a short squeeze, but it does not take much to get a rally going. They've said Bitcoin should not trade below $25,800. With tight stop losses, we would be long Bitcoin, expecting lower treasury yields and a rally in US tech stocks. These are all very tight stop loss levels that traders should be monitoring. So some Bitcoin traders still expect a dip to $20,000. Let's not keep our head in the clouds. Let's look at the opposing views as well. As always, when I'm feeling too bullish, I like to look at bearish people's opinions. When I'm feeling too bearish, I like to look at the bullish side of things. I like to try and keep myself as neutral as possible. I like to try and keep my emotions out of my trading as much as possible. So it's good to see the two different sides here. People are feeling positive, but we have to be aware that there is always that risk involved. We are currently trading at 20. Oh, we are pumping right now. We've missed this on the stream right now. If we take a look at the last hour, things are moving to the upside. Let's see if we've got any major news coming in right now. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on. We've got some questions. Let's see if we can pull up the latest cryptocurrency news. Give me a second to find out what's going on here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what's going on here. Let me pull this up today. So let's go for crypto. Let's see what's in store for the news right now. Let's go to news here. So we are seeing court sides with Grayscale in closely watched Bitcoin ETF case. Is this the story that's happening right now? Is this what we're all excited about? $27,500 right now. Grayscale has won the lawsuit against the SEC. Let's discuss this in more detail. Let's pull this in. So Grayscale, SEC, let's see what's happening here. We were just discussing what's gone on with these spot Bitcoin ETFs. So Bitcoin is jumping as Grayscale has won the lawsuit against the SEC. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now, $27,600. What we've seen in the last couple of years is Grayscale have been trying to get a Bitcoin ETF for a very long period of time. And the SEC have said, look, it's not happening over and over again. So let's take a look at what's been happening here. The SEC was wrong to reject the application for a spot Bitcoin ETF and that it must be reviewed again. So brilliant news here from the courts. Almost as positive as when XRP won that court case. Everything's going on right now. We're in a bear market and real big movements are happening for the cryptocurrency space. Typically in a bear market, we're seeing a lot of dullness, not much excitement. People are developing in the background, but gearing up for the bull market. But in this bear market, we've seen XRP win in court against the SEC, determining that XRP is not a security. And now we've seen Grayscale win in court as well. And the SEC's really losing that legit. What's happening is the SEC are getting questioned. The lawsuits we're going to court here with the SEC and saying the SEC is wrong in the way it's regulating cryptocurrency. And then the courts are saying, well, actually, yeah, they are wrong. The SEC are not regulating the space correctly. And this is a problem we've seen over and over again in the cryptocurrency space. Us in crypto have been calling them out saying, this is not right. You're not being clear and you're not being fair. And the courts are now on our side once again. Massive move to the upside. So very, very happy about this. So let's see what's going on. If we've got more news stories coming through here. Let's see if we can refresh this page and see what's going on. So what's happened, essentially? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Dylan says, I wish I was as happy in regard to crypto as Jess is, lol. I am very happy to see this. A lot of people, I've been speaking to a lot of people about cryptocurrency recently, and I've been saying, things are going to get better, and everyone looks at me like I'm delusional. So I like to see court cases like this because it gives me more ammunition for my next conversation there. So let's take a look at what's going on in the news right now. So court sides with Grayscale in closely watched Bitcoin ETF case. This is a pay-for website. Come on, let's find some stuff here. Let's go back to that Forex Live stream there. So what we can see is Bitcoin has rallied to $26,800. Where are we at now? $27,600. Massive move to the upside there. So what's happened is we've seen Grayscale getting knocked back over and over again for their spot Bitcoin ETF within the last couple of years. And now the courts are saying, look, the SEC shouldn't have done this. So they've said, let's take a look at this. The DC court ruled that the SEC improperly rejected the Bitcoin spot ETF. The court ordered the petition for review be granted and the commission's order be vacated. So what could actually happen here is we did a story about this on the Crypto Saving Expert channel just a couple of days ago. I think it was last week. If we take a look at what could happen now, Grayscale have had this win in court. Obviously, if this is just a court win, they've won the whole lawsuit, actually. This is even better. This is very, very exciting. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. What we are seeing here is we had a discussion about this at Crypto Saving Expert. We need to talk about what's going on with the spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, we've been waiting for this decision for just a week. So what we are seeing here is they could potentially now have to reapply. And from my memory, I think that could take about 240 days. You can see the deadlines here for all of the current lots, Bitcoin ETFs right now. And you can see we are approaching some first decisions on that. But let's see. I want to get the right story up here because we have one here where we discuss Grayscale's ETF and what happens next. We have planned early for this here at Crypto Saving Expert, and we had an article about this just last week, I believe. So what have we got in here? Let's see what we can find. If we go to the news section, Bitcoin ETF, it was either 240 or 280 days, and that is how long it takes for them to have to reapply for this and try and get the correct answer from the SEC. So let's see if we can find it in here. All spot Bitcoin ETFs should be approved together. This isn't the one I'm looking for. Essentially, what we're seeing is because they have been rejected, they've had this SEC lawsuit and now it's been accepted. As you can see in this article here, they would now need to they would need to review it again. Now, does this mean that Grayscale have to make a whole new application? Potentially, and that's the problem here, because then it would take another 240 days. As I was saying at the start of this stream, I was just talking about the spot Bitcoin ETFs at the start of this stream. What we've seen is Grayscale fighting for a spot Bitcoin ETF for years. They've wanted this for such a long time, and now we've seen them enter a lawsuit with the SEC over this because they're saying it's not fair, there's no clarity over why we can't have a spot Bitcoin ETF, and you're not knocking us back with fair reasoning. So that's basically the summary of what that lawsuit was. And now we've seen that obviously they've won that lawsuit, so that's brilliant news. But we've also seen BlackRock, Fidelity, and a number of other massive companies filing for spot Bitcoin ETFs in that period of time while Grayscale have been in this lawsuit. So what's going to happen now is I believe there's an opportunity for a massive first mover advantage when it comes to these spot Bitcoin ETFs. If the first company that gets a spot Bitcoin ETF live in the market, they're going to have a first mover advantage. And all of those traditional investors that are now hearing that BlackRock want to get involved, Fidelity wants to get involved, they're looking at the space now and saying, oh, maybe I should get involved too. Maybe I should get myself exposed to the cryptocurrency industry in some way and put a portion of my portfolio into a spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, if all of these ETFs get accepted at the same time, they all have that first advantage to go into the markets and try and gain some of that market exposure in the traditional space. But if Grayscale go in first, that would be a win for me. I would like to see Grayscale get in there first, get that first mover advantage, and scoop up that market share of people wanting to get in before BlackRock, Fidelity, and all of those major institutions get exposure and get into there. So that's what I would like to see. But we'll have to see about this. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin here, currently at $27,415. A very nice move to the upside. Is it going to stick? That is the question here. Now, this is very, very positive news. And we have seen news like this affect the cryptocurrency industry in a way that sticks before. If we go to the daily chart here, you can see actually, and this is something I would like to point out, on the Binance BTC USDT chart, we have not yet actually broken that previous low. So the low was at $24,850. The low we've seen in the last couple of weeks is $25,200. So if we continue to move to the upside now, we're still seeing a higher high. We've not yet broken that uptrend on the daily chart. Now, I would like to point that out. We've been pointing that out on the channel, and we've been saying we really need some news to move this thing now. We've been seeing sideways action. We haven't really seen that move to the upside or to the downside. We've been saying we're on the fence here. We could get some really negative news with things to do with Evergrande and what's going on there, or we could get some really positive news with the things that are going on with the spot Bitcoin ETF. And thankfully, we've seen some really positive news here. Grayscale have won that lawsuit. Could not be happier about this. Please don't forget to like today's stream and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. We do a live stream here on the channel every single weekday talking about what's going on in the markets. This is the happiest live stream we've ever had. I cannot believe we've got this live. This is the news we wanted to see today. Let's see if we've got any more articles in any more detail. Let's see what's going on here. Grayscale SEC. There we go. Let's spell it better. So we've got an article here. Let's read through this one together. The Federal Appeals Court ordered the SEC to vacate its rejection of the trust issuer's bid to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an exchange-traded fund. Now, I would be very interested to see right now what the price of GBTC is compared to its basket of goods. So what we've seen, GBTC is skyrocketing today. So what we've seen here is Grayscale have been applying for spot Bitcoin ETF for a very long time, and they have GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and this is a basket of Bitcoin essentially. But the value of the Bitcoin that this trust holds has been significantly higher than the stock value of GBTC and the share value of GBTC for the last year or so. We've seen like 50% discrepancies in the price of the actual stock and the value of the Bitcoin that it holds. So people have been taking advantage of this within the last couple of months and within the last year, buying GBTC instead of Bitcoin for this exact scenario, because now if Grayscale can convert GBTC into an ETF, that becomes 1-to-1. So that discrepancy suddenly closes, and those people make that extra gain as well as having exposure to the brilliant asset of Bitcoin. So let's take a look there. That has gone from trading down at $17.74 all the way up to $21.12. Something that we see in the cryptocurrency industry fairly frequently, not something we see frequently in the stock market there. So brilliant news there. Let's take a look at this. We've seen, so we are seeing the DC Circuit Court of Appeals Union said that federal agencies are required to treat like cases alike. So the SEC recently approved the trading of 2 Bitcoin futures funds on national exchanges, but denied approval of Grayscale's Bitcoin fund. Petitioning for review of the commission's denial order, Grayscale maintains its proposed Bitcoin exchange-traded product is materially similar to the Bitcoin futures exchange-traded products and should have been approved to trade on NYSE Arca, and we agree. So the SEC did not explain why it was treating these products differently, making the Grayscale denial arbitrary and capricious, she added. Bitcoin's price spiked after the ruling was unveiled. Let's take a quick look here. Trading currently at $27,280. So we can see here the ruling seemed to specify that the issue wasn't the SEC's rejection of the application so much as it was the agency's failure to properly explain the rejection that led to Tuesday's outcome. And this is the problem we've been saying about in the cryptocurrency space. Regulation isn't something we're fighting against necessarily in the cryptocurrency industry with the SEC. It's the lack of clarity from the SEC. We've been saying we've got loads of problems here to do with securities and commodities and the Howey test to determine whether assets are securities or commodities. A test created in 1946 does not work on digital assets. We've also seen the lack of clarity around the spot Bitcoin ETFs here as well. So seeing some clarity about this is what we're all fighting for in the cryptocurrency space. And something the courts are on our side about. We've seen XRP win in court. We've seen Grayscale win the entire lawsuit here. So more fingers are pointing at the SEC saying, look, if the SEC keeps saying to us, oh, we're being clear, we're being transparent, the regulation is already there, we don't need to update it. And the courts are turning around in these lawsuits and saying, no, it's not clear, you're not being transparent, and you're not properly explaining why you're rejecting all of these things, why you're creating all of these problems for the cryptocurrency industry. So this is a really, really good news here for the cryptocurrency space once again. Let's take a look at what's going on in this article a little bit more. Grayscale has demonstrated its proposed Bitcoin ETP is materially similar across relevant regulatory factors to the approved Bitcoin futures ETPs. First, the underlying assets, Bitcoin and Bitcoin futures, are closely correlated. And second, the surveillance sharing agreements with the CME are identical and should have the same likelihood of detecting fraudulent or manipulative conduct in the market for Bitcoin and Bitcoin futures. Grayscale shared enough arguments that its proposed ETF was similar to the recently approved Valkyrie Bitcoin futures products, which warrants the same regulatory treatment. So we've got a long road ahead here. We've seen Bitcoin, Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust coming a long way. So we've got a little bit of the history going on in this article here. So they first applied for its GBTC closed-end fund to be converted into an ETF in October 2021. So the SEC rejected the application, saying that its decision that the application failed to answer the SEC's questions about preventing market manipulation, and that since then Grayscale filed an appeal against the SEC barely an hour after the regulatory agency rejected its application. And in the filing, Grayscale asked the US Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit to review the SEC's order. So you can see it's been a long road for Grayscale. Definitely a win, not only for Grayscale, for the whole cryptocurrency space. Very, very happy to see this morning. But I think we have covered the majority of that story here today. If you want to stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrency news, make sure to give us a like, make sure to subscribe. If you have just joined us, get to the start of the stream and watch it from the beginning. It's been an interesting one today, full of facts today, I think I am. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button, and I will see you all